So with us today is Mieke Gerritzen, who is a designer, an author, producer, and many other things. Some of them is also founder of the Image Society, a former director of Museum of the Image in Breda, head of design department at Sandberg Institute, an author of many books that she will present probably today, and many other things. And why we invited her? So in Ljubljana we host a lot of design events, from Biennale to other stuff, and we think that there's a lack of critical discussions on design, and we hope that Mieke can help open some new discussions. Hello, welcome. And so Mieke is gonna have a talk, and afterwards we're gonna have a short Q&A. After that we're gonna have a short break, and then we start with the panel, and then we have some drinks for you. Thank you. Mieke,
Okay.
The floor is yours. Welcome to Ljubljana.
Thank you, Emil, and I'm happy to be here. First of all, congrats to your 10th anniversary. Thank you for inviting me. And if I understand correctly, you are celebrating this with a book about Ljudje. I try to speak your language. I had a look at it. I do not speak your language, so I couldn't read it. By scanning, I saw lots of developments over the last 10 years, and Ljudje looks like me as an important design network. Is it?
One
Okay.
day.
Well, actually not only for the visual part of design, but also for the design strategies and the reflection on what design means today. Because otherwise I think they should not have made that book. I have put together more than 150 slides for this presentation, and I will start with 20 slogans selected from the books I did to warm you up for the discussion later. Maybe good to tell you that I'm obsessed by slogans. Most of my books are content-wise based on quotes and slogans, so here we go. The highs and lows of gloom and heaviness are coded into social media platforms. After all the clicking, browsing, swiping and liking, all we have left is the flat and empty aftermath of our time lost to the apps. What if politics would be a question of design? Social design, biotech design, environmental design and gender design are replacing government, health, ecology and identity politics. Love it or hate it. Designers have to become super people. And who will train these people? How can we produce universal problem solvers in a time where everyone is a designer? What happens when anything can be labeled design? We simply don't see it anymore because it's anywhere. In design inflation turning the world into is design inflation turning the world into a uniform visual soup? Let's face it, design drives the innovation business. The market decides what to produce. The critical designer is also instructed to share ideas and sell them. Today's taste is mostly boring. People are scared to stand out with provocative ideas and radical visions. People constantly hide behind the conventional. Design thinking is not about design. It's a market and process strategy. What are the interests of the great digital powers, whose services enable us to do exactly the same thing as anyone else? How does this monoculture change our lives? We do want to spend our time in a constructive and meaningful way. We like, swipe and share ourselves to exhaustion. Who would have thought that one day the entire world population would be hooked on sharing the same information over and over again in the same internet platform? We are too willing to share it. How much we earn, which groceries we buy, where we travel and how, and who we talk to. How will the world look when we can design a human being even before it's born? The only thing that counts is looking fabulous on Instagram. Everything starts to look the same, with the same gestures and poses, the camera, it's the same camera defaults, tags and filters. Next to food and sleep, design seems to have primarily existential need. Nothing beats the fun of endlessly scrolling the web and texting with anyone, always, anytime. Even obscure life visions turn out to be dynamic factors in society. Hype, trends, ideas, visions and statements are generated, copied and remixed at an ever-increasing speed. Today's in is tomorrow's out, last week's no-go is next week's standard. The digital network will shape our social lives in an ever greater extent. You think, because you repeat the thoughts of other people, because you borrow from history and steal the ideas of your teachers, you think, because you are influenced and because you focus on the thoughts that were poured into your head through the exchange with other people. You think, because you articulate the thoughts of others in a slightly different form and then you call it your own opinion. Young and not so young designers are becoming increasingly aware of this. Many feel impotent. They were told and they learned at Art Academy that they had the tools to make the world a better place. But instead, the world takes its toll on them. Beyond the haze of hype and bold claims lies a barren land of self-doubt. Although these feelings might be the millennial norm, design culture reinforces them. In conferences, we learn that with great power comes great responsibility. But when it comes to real-life clients, all they ask is to make the logo bigger. So these were my slogans for today. Now I go on with the other languages. In the Netherlands, we have an organization with the name What Design Can Do. And this is what they stand for.
At What Design Can Do, we believe that design is more than making pretty things. Design and creativity have the power to transform societies. Money, the government, science, or the United Nations cannot solve the problems of the world alone. We need design and creativity to come up with alternative strategies, fresh ideas, and provocative thoughts. What Design Can Do organizes annual conferences in Amsterdam, Mexico City, and Sao Paulo. Speakers from all over the world share their visions. What Design Can Do is the perfect place for designers and creatives, as well as businesses, industry, NGOs, and governments to explore and start using design innovation. The What Design Can Do website, blog, and social media are engaged platforms for discussions on design and issues like climate change, social justice, health, and well-being. To actively search for fresh ideas and insights, What Design Can Do organizes global design challenges around the big issues of today. We ask the design community to come up with new answers to questions like the integration of refugees and climate change. We challenge creatives to upload their ideas to our website. An independent jury selects the best ideas to enter an acceleration program to develop them into viable products and business cases. In the near future, What Design Can Do plans a series of local challenges around energy and safety in metropoles on 5 continents, and a new series of conferences is being launched in Mexico City. To see how you can join our movement, visit whatdesigncando.com.
So I have to say, all their communication looks very cool. It's always yellow, red and black. Unfortunately, last week I saw the announcement of this book. Not published yet, or maybe it was published yesterday. And it's called What Design Can't Do. Also yellow, red and black. So it's an answer on the What Design Can Do organization. The book is written by Silvio Lorusso, who works at the Institute of Network Cultures in Amsterdam. And that's an organization about internet critique and since a couple of years also design theory. Talking about design theory, this is still something relatively new. Geert Lovink is the founder of the Institute of Network Cultures. And this is his last book. It's about the end of internet. I designed it and I put together some images. I will show you some pages. Geert Lovink is officially internet critic. In the 90s, we were, with a group of theorists and designers, the first internet pioneers in the Netherlands. That was the time the internet was a free space and we thought that we were changing the world. The internet was ours. Until the market took over, we lost it completely. So this is Venice, not so far from here. And now that group of people, Geert included, are extremely negative about all the digital developments. They are the protesters of what they created themselves. And of course, we can't go back. The internet, our smartphones and iPads are not disappearing out of our lives, although my friends from the 90s would love to see that. And if you like to read more internet and design critique, these are some very critical books written by Geert Lovink. I have to say their covers are very, very ugly. But I did not make them. Less critical and more visual culture. The medium is the Messiah, written by Marshall McLuhan and illustrated by Quentin Fiore from 1967, 67, yes, became an important example for designers when they like to make books that have a message. And I saw that also here in Ljubljana, it's a fact of inspiration. Here's the new Ljudje anniversary book. I saw this. Eva Poppet. She here? No? And the funny thing is, I brought these books because maybe after the lecture you can have a look at the books. I have this amount of books. And because inspired on the Marshall McLuhan Quentin Fiore book, there were some other people making books in the same style and the same format. So I don't know if you've ever seen these books. Are there people here that know these books? No? You can see it later, but I think it's a very good format. And also I found out that in the same format, same style, the same inside sort of typography, Nike also did a book on this. So actually they are sort of philosophical design books, a bit critical, but and now also Nike created the whole design book on sneakers in this style. So yeah, you should have a look at it later. And also I think if designers ever should make a new book, we should do it in the same format, because then it gets recognizable. Then a very small little portfolio show of my own books. This is what I did until 2010, 7 books and one film. This was my first book created out of a design frustration in 2001. I could not handle the marketing power on what I was designing, and I decided to stop doing assignments and continue with autonomous projects in 2001. This book was the first outcome of that. And of course, slogans. The whole book was full of slogans. And this was the film I created in 2007, a typo movie. I believe that we can create a new film genre based on typography, which is not only a trailer, but a real movie. My dream is to make a typo feature movie. Hope to realize that before I'm too old. Who did see this movie before? Because if you all saw the movie, then I won't show it. But so I can show a couple of minutes because I have a lot more to show. I will show a couple of minutes.
It is as secure in that sense as the rest of us.
Okay, I stop it here, otherwise because this movie is 20 minutes, and that takes too long, and we can, if you like, you can see after the lecture more of it. These are a selection of publications and books I did from 2011 until now, and I show a little bit of them. This book is somehow an answer on the market of how-to books. The so-called self-help books, the market exploded in the last decade. Because you are already here, this means that you are able to take notice of this book about makeable mankind. Because both physically and mentally, you can further design, change, and improve yourself with the aid of more and more technology and information. And this is self-design. Today, everyone is subjected to an aesthetic evaluation. Everyone is required to take aesthetic responsibility for his or her appearance in the world, for his or her self-design. Are you normcore? I think there's nobody normcore in this place, if I have a look at it. What family do you create? Now that the human body is makeable, both before and after birth, the difference between men and women is disappearing. The social aspects of self-design. Everyone will notice how participants in a video conference tend to mainly look at their own face on the screen and not that of others. A Zoom session is like a mirror session. Are you a product? We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. Boredom opens up the space for new engagements. Without boredom, no creativity. If you are not bored, you just stupidly enjoy the situation in which you are. Fairness. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And Made in China, designed in California and criticized in Europe, was another book. When everything is designed, design is losing its power. And this is already happening. Design becomes invisible, it's everywhere. What's our next step? This book is about the design culture. And I think we need to step out a bit out of our traditional forms of books. Let's go monumental. And we translated the design of this book into space. So you could walk through it. Experience the quotes and slogans out of the book. And it worked amazingly good. It's just an idea. You can do that. And anyway, I created some of these spaces in the museum I was running for 8 years. This was a graphic design exhibition about the history of graphic design. And this was a supermarket with all products on color instead of product type. And it was a very weird experience. And Planet Hype, internet printout, full of memes, just a way of experience the internet on another more physical way. A reflection on the visual culture that we're staring at in our phones. The future. Short-term media like Twitter and the daily news create an impression of a world out of control, with democracy in danger, more conflicts, and an overall outlook of doom. But if we look at the developments concerning the world from a long-term perspective, actually the only sense-making way, almost any aspect concerning humanity seems to get better. Fewer people go hungry, fewer people die in wars and natural disasters, more people live in democracies and live much longer lives than ever before. 200 years ago, 9 out of 10 people could neither read or write, and now it's just 1 out of 10. The human impact on our planet can hardly be underestimated. Climate change, synthetic biology, mass urbanization, Anthropocene, and we are going to live with are we going to live with artificial intelligence? Is a planetary consciousness emerging? Ultimately, it's about creating a livable Earth. But are we the final species on Earth?
We have just arrived. Our planet exists much longer. In the beginning, it was just a lonely rock floating in space. Only after 3 billion years the biosphere evolved. Then came the plants, animals, and another billion years later, people. We have just arrived. And yet, our presence does not go unnoticed. With our limitless ingenuity and technology, we cause the rise of a new sphere on our planet, the technosphere. Just like the biosphere, it wants to grow and survive. We've never planned or invented this, it just happened to us, because we have just arrived. Still, we are not the anti-natural species that merely spoils and destroys nature. Just like the biosphere, the technosphere is full of life. It can connect, nourish, and realize dreams. This is beautiful, this is natural, because evolution goes on.
At the moment, I'm creative director at Next Nature Network. And the next slide minutes, I aim to shift your perspective on nature and technology. So first, let's zoom out. Imagine looking at the dark side of Earth from space. 1,000 years ago, the nights on Earth were pitch black. Today, it seems to be blossoming with lights. Is it on fire or is it springtime on Earth? If we zoom in a bit, there's a lot we can learn. You see some difference between the blue and the red states. The rising of India. Europe lights up like a Christmas tree of stars with a lonely star at the east. There's also empty area like Greenland. The Amazon forest is less dark than we expected. And you can see natural structures like the Nile River in the Sahara Desert that lights up from space due to all the cultural activity around it. Also, political and economical decisions are visible. Here we see the North Korean border. Clearly a very different situation in Pyongyang than in Seoul. What is the largest spot of light on the planet? New York, Tokyo, Mexico City. It's closer than you think. And this is where we are, trying to make sense of what is going on. So what future are we going to? We tend to think you have today and there is the future. But in fact, there are many futures. Some are just fantasies. Others are actually possible. And some are actually probable. Within that space are both dreams and nightmares. I explore dreams and nightmares within this space, make them very tangible to help us better decide what future we actually want. And all science begins with fiction. We like to create design for debate. And I would like to show you some speculative projects, like the Nano Supermarkt. So this is the Nano supermarket. It's a driving mobile supermarket, and full of speculative nanotechnology products that might hit the shelves within the next 10 years, or probably never hit the shelves. So one of our most popular products is the Wall Smart Interactive Paint, which allows you to change the color of your wall with one click of a button. Besides Google Glass, we introduced Google Nose. And this is a very nice one, or it's the energy belt, which allows you to charge your mobile phone on your own belly fat, which I would like to have, actually. And the Twitter implant simply tweets anything that happens inside your body to your social network, but also to your health insurance company. Healing game to see how bad bacteria get killed. We also have products in our collection that are simply beautiful and desirable, like the energy-friendly algae lamp, which uses a fluid with algae as an alternative solar panel. The Rayfish Bio custom-made sneakers are made from genetically modified stingray leather designed by its users. For this product, we also made a commercial. And I think about 20,000 people created online a sneaker, and they also bought it, but they never got it. So yeah. And remember, although all our products are currently still fictional, and the debate is 100% fact. So I would like to introduce you more to the next nature vision. It's now 5 billion years ago since our planet came into existence. At first, it was just a lonely rock in the space. It had a geosphere. But it still took 3 billion years for a biosphere to evolve on planet Earth. And more than 1 billion years later, mankind arose. With the arrival of people, we see a new sphere arising, the technosphere, the sphere of all human activity. And just like the biosphere builds upon interacts with the geosphere, the technosphere builds upon interacts with the biosphere. So evolution goes on. And we all know Darwin, who envisioned the idea of evolution some 150 years ago. Yet, when we think of nature, we still feel we voice from this holy natural paradise. While the truth is, look in the room you are now and try to find the most natural thing in that room. What do you think that's it? What is the natural thing in this room? Yeah, it's the people, it's you. Nowadays, young children know more logos and brands than bird or tree species. While our science and technology transform our original natural environment into a world of design. At the same time, our technological environment slowly but steadily grows beyond our control. So what will we leave for the future? And what will our own future be? So, okay, don't worry, this is still a Photoshop. However, metaphorically, this image perfectly illustrates one of the most important stories of our time, which is the born and the made are fusing. Allow me to elaborate on this with a simple graph. We put made versus born on the axis. and autonomous versus controlled on the other axis, we have created 4 quadrants, and we can place all kinds of things in there. In the born, controlled quadrant, we can put a rainbow tulip, bonsai tree, a domestic banana, and genetically modified chicken. These are all born things that are pretty much under our control. It is nature that has been cultivated to the extent that we can hardly call it nature anymore. However, there's also still a lot of born nature left that is more autonomous. Think of viruses, volcanoes, lightning, or the sun. We don't have any control over the sun at all. It is just so much bigger than us. Then in the mate side, we can put things like cars, telephones, robot dogs, and a light bulb as example of made and controlled. And then in the last one, we find traffic jams, computer viruses, digital networks, or the financial system that have been made by people, but also grow beyond control to the extent that they seem to gain a certain autonomy beyond our control. Now, with this used to be our idea of nature, everything born. It is shifting to everything that grows autonomously because the control of people. Hence, with our human presence and technology, we cause the rising of a next nature, a nature caused by people. This brings an entirely new perspective on the relationship between people, nature, and technology. While traditionally nature and technology are seen as opposites, like black and white, we now begin to understand that technology can also be naturalized. Now that may sound abstract. Let me give you an example from our everyday life. Technology is our next nature. No longer should we see nature as the paradise we lost. We have to move away from the idea of nature as a static entity that needs to be saved and preserved. It's time for a mind shift. And once you get used to this new perspective, you'll see the world totally different. Earlier, I showed this evolutionary graph of life on planet Earth. For once and for all we need to accept that we have caused the rising of a new technosphere. We need to embrace its complexity and find ways to guide its growth. Our experience with the biosphere might help us to cope with the technosphere. We need to develop an ecological intelligence and balance these spheres. Because in the end, there's just one sphere, which happens to be our planet. Okay, something else. This is the building I work. This is the Next Nature building. And this is how it looks like when it's just on the ground. And here we do our research and create exhibitions and events for the public at large. We have more than 3,000 square meter exhibition space. And I can show you a short movie. It's a drone movie. Then you can see, because I don't want to show you all the exhibitions, but you can have a small look at it. So you're all invited to come to Eindhoven, because Next Nature is not in Amsterdam, it's in Eindhoven. I don't know if you ever heard of Eindhoven. It's a bit in the south of the Netherlands. It's the design city, design and technology city. Last Saturday we opened another exhibition, space farming, and the number of people on Earth is growing fast. There will be about 10 billion of us by 2050. What will be on the menu? Where will this food come from? And how will this be made? A steak from a greenhouse, milk from a robot cow, or fruit from a petri dish? Is it a dream or a nightmare? Either way, we are going to have to feed 10 billion people using the limited resources of our planet. A difficult task, but no means impossible. We take a closer look at how we can grow our food differently in the future, or even on other planets. This is important because I don't think many people are waiting for a meal replacement pill. Welcome to the world of the space farmer. What can we learn from farming in the ecosystems in space for our planet? And we just made a campaign for this exhibition with Midjourney from AI. And I think hairy vegetables are very interesting for the future. Mycelium truffle cheese, weird plants, never again peeling an egg, and beautiful breakfasts. And I don't know if there's a culture in Slovenia with meatballs. In the Netherlands, we eat meatballs. Are you eating meatballs here? Yeah? So it's a worldwide thing. So tomorrow's meatball is a visual exploration of the future of the meatball. The project is investigating a wide range of alternative ways in which we can continue eating meatballs. Is the meatball a tradition in Slovenia? Yes, because in many cultures it is. So we have powder and powder balls, and we have nut balls, we have insect balls, and we have local green balls. And I think 2 months ago there was the extinct mammoth ball. And I will tell you a little bit more about how we can create meat from animals, but not if you don't have to dye them. So this results in the world's first in vitro meat cookbook, 45 recipes you cannot cook yet. Allow me show some examples from this book. With a knitted meat, if it's too difficult to 3D print an entire steak, you can also grow thin threads. We could have an entire new ritual in the kitchen with grandmother knitting the meat. Would be interesting, I think, to have another meat experience. You could make transparent sushi or sashimi that is much softer, healthier, and better than the best sushi you ever tasted. How about this Carnegie tapas? This dish offers a tasting of local beers with locally grown meats. Brewing beer and growing meat really aren't that different. Just like cheese making and beer brewing, in vitro meat is about manipulating cell cultures, just in a new way. In the far future, we may even be able to grow meat in our own kitchen. Here you see the kitchen stable top incubator, in which you hunt and gather some fish and deer cells, set the structure, just a little bit more tender, wait for 3 days, and tada! Your tuna deer steak from the kitchen table top incubator. This is how in vitro meat works. You take cells from an animal and you can grow it without killing the animal. You may also use this meat synthesizer to grow a sausage using cells from Pookie. Pookie is a pig from the local city farm. After eating this sausage, you can visit Pookie at the farm. And we can even go further, and of course, well, you can do this with human beings. And I know a food designer who did that with her own cells. So that's also possible, probably not desirable. a little movie that was created for the exhibition of space farming, and I think you will find out what it's about.
The Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. Ignorance is bliss.
Tomato soup.
There are 14 varieties of tomato soup available from this replicator, with rice, with vegetables, Bolian style, with pasta, with...
Plain.
Specify hot or chilled.
Hot. Hot, plain tomato soup.
I want a pizza.
Me too.
All right, to make it unanimous.
Oh, here's the card. Flying sausage pizza.
Hey, pizza.
All right, just wait.
When it's ready, could you just shove it in my mouth?
Don't you be a smartass.
I'll crack the atrocity channel.
Hydrate level 4, please.
Ooh. Is it ready? Here you go.
Oh boy, Mom. You sure can hydrate a pizza.
Very special dessert. I wrote it myself. It starts so simply. Each line of the program creating a new effect, just like poetry. First, a rush, heat, the heart flutters. The truth is, we are completely out of control.
I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste best.
I know. It's so bubbly and cloying and happy. But you know what's really frightening? If you drink enough of it, you begin to like it. It's insidious.
Would you like another?
Extra big-ass fries!
I said I didn't get any.
Thank you. Your account has been charged. Your balance is 0. Please
What?
come back when you can afford to make a purchase.
No.
I'm sorry you're having
Come
trouble.
on. My kids are starving.
This should help you calm down.
Here's something about inner beauty that
You will break.
Yeah. That's certainly not telling me anything.
Do they have a bit of a weight problem?
So do I. I mean, so. Work just become so silly.
Stop it! Stop it now!
Look at that! Dried synthetic crap! And you've become so dependent on it that I bet you can't even live without it. But you know what else? There is no more beauty. And there's no more imagination. You know why? Only one reason why. One reason why. And that is, nobody cares.
And computer, I would like a real chocolate sundae.
Define real in context, please.
Real.
Okay, so this was an AI mixed with science fiction movies from the past.
No Soylent Green.
No Soylent Green yet. No. We show that, yeah, we do, but it was not in this movie. Another project that we're working on is about your phone. And this project is called Swipe, and this is a project about you and your phone. Your phone is like a body part. If you leave it somewhere, you feel incomplete. You now communicate with your smartphone more than your loved ones. Your phone is the mirror you hold up to yourself. Who does not have a mobile phone here? Everyone has a mobile phone. I would like to show you a glimpse of my new film that will be launched in November. It's a typo smart film. smartphone film. So I just put some very small parts together for you to have a glimpse. I think in November I can tell you the app, because it will be an app in the end, and you can all download it. I will let the people know here.
Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything.
More people in the world have access to a mobile phone than a toilet. How did we get here? Swipe to find out.
Swiping can be done out of love, but also out of hate and aversion. Swiping is what you do unconsciously all day long.
In the Stone Age, people use snooze as their main tool. In the phone age, this has become the phone. The phone has made profound changes to the way you navigate life, nature, and time as it helps you survive the current era. We need language. Learning to chat is like learning to shoot.
You are disconnected from what really matters, from what makes you feel human.
Hello, it's me.
Your phone connects you and the world. It's so close to you. It is like an extra body part you can no longer function without. Even if it's not physically integrated into your body, your phone is nested deep under your skin.
You used to call me on my...
You belong to something beautiful.
This is my
It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
So, that's a little glimpse of my next movie, which is about the phone, and I think it's very necessary that we are going to talk about our phone, because we are, in a way, always watching on the phone. We have no time to reflect on the phone. So I started doing that. I also made a book about it, which is called Swipe. And I'm not so proud of the book, but I want to make a new book. But if you have a good question for me afterwards, you can just get the book.
What's the problem with the book?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know. I will tell you later afterwards. It's I like all the books. I brought all the books, so especially for you, that you can ask questions to me, and the best questions I will give you a book. And I bought them all, so there's a lot to give you. The last project, I think I'm on time, eh? Still on time, yeah, because I'm at slide 160. So this is the last thing I want to say, to tell you. Or maybe not the last. I have a little movie that I might show you. The last project is about AI, and we organized a big conference on AI in January, and since the subject is enormous, we limit it to AI and creativity. For this, we will create a small book, and we will collect special prompts, text only, and create a typographical book with prompts. So, because prompts most of the time are secret, people don't want to give their prompts away, and so we would like to publish that. So this was the last slide. Actually, I have one little movie that came in today. I can show it, and if you like, I have also text with it. But let's first see the movie. It's just a bit advertisement for Adbusters.
Myself the pain, I dug myself past this hell and onto higher plane. I drift away.
I have a text with this Adbusters movie, because I think that the Adbusters movie is very, very negative, and I think it's not necessary to be so negative about everything that's happening right now. Yeah, I think they just published it this week. Yeah, would you like to follow us or me or whatever? Sign up to the newsletter or become a member. We have members in 44 countries with Next Nature. And yeah, questions? Thank you.